Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, we're gonna have my uncle here.
Hi guys.
We are gonna be walking through his pristine Datsun 240z. So tell us about the car. What's the year?
Okay, Quinn, this is a 1972 240z. It is all original, except the transmission. I did get a 5-speed out of a 1982 280ZX, rebuilt that so that I would have an overdrive. But the engine is all original, has been rebuilt, bore 10 over. Carburetors were rebuilt by Z Therapy. If you're into Datsuns, you know who they are. And it's been completely restored. All the bushings and all this on the suspension and everything have been changed with new modern stuff, so you know it lasts a little longer. The interior is all new, and of course the paint, which is paint code 112, I believe, which was a Datsun color for 2 years only, 1972 and 73.
So what's the color actually called exactly?
Actually, some people call it lime, some people call it lemon. I don't know that there's actually a true name for it. It's just everybody kind of refers to it as code 112.
I noticed when we were pulling out of the garage, it like changed color a bit.
Yeah.
Like inside it looks more yellow, and out here it has more of like a greenish tint to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I really liked. So other than the paint, what's going on with the exterior? The wheels, are those original or?
No, the wheels on this car were 14s from the factory. These are 15s. They are Rotor RBs, which are aftermarket, obviously. And I wanted to have a little larger wheel and a little better tire. So to accomplish that, I went with the larger wheels and tires. And that gives you a little better handling.
It fills out the wheel gap a lot better too.
Exactly. As you can see, it's you know, kind of really lets you have a good view there.
So walking around to the front, I see you did, this chrome looks all brand new. What'd you do to get that?
That is actually a brand new aftermarket bumper.
Okay.
Without the overriders, which I prefer, you know.
Looks way cleaner.
It just made sense to me. What I also did was I changed the lights over to,
I don't know.
The glass headlights, right?
Yeah, they're glass headlights. Not only that, but they're
still steel beam, right?
No. That's why I changed them over.
Yeah.
Yep. They're not LEDs, but they're HIDs.
Oh.
So you know, I just wanted to be able to see at night. You know, the older you get, the harder it is to see at night. So I decided that was what I would do. So, as I mentioned, the interior is all new. This is not the dash that came in the car. There's actually a company in California that manufactured some of these. Now, I don't know if they're still in business or not, but I got one of the very first ones. They did a very fine job, and it fits great.
So gauges are all new as well?
No, the gauges are all the same, believe it or not. 92,143 miles on this car. Amp, fuel, temp, and oil, and the clock, and believe it or not, the clock works, which some people would say that's a miracle. This is an AM/FM radio that came in the car. It was monaural from the factory, had one speaker behind the driver in the sail back here. I modified, or at least had the radio modified by a company in Florida. It is now AM/FM stereo. You can't tell any difference. It looks stock. But it has the ability, as you can see, I have speakers in the kick panels. And I have a speaker box in the rear that I built to fit into the car. 2 6x9s.
So the speaker setup bops then.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Vintage
well,
air.
you got to have your tunes when you're rolling, you know.
Exactly. So that is very true.
You're running vintage air in here?
Vintage air. This was originally, I have one in there, a different setup. And I cut this out of this is all plastic here, but I cut it out and I made me a piece of metal and I mounted the controls in it, so it's now all electric controls instead of manual.
Nice.
So, and it blows 51 degrees out of the vents.
Ooh, that's cold.
Yep.
You said you swapped it to a 5-speed?
Yes, as you can see, I've got a 5-speed knobby on here. It's out of a 280SX, which was 1982 model. I got it from a salvage yard in Mississippi and rebuilt it and put it in here. But like I said, I'd like to have an overdrive when I'm out on the road. So that I thought, well, I'll do that now while I'm restoring it.
All original steering wheel, I see.
Original steering wheel, I refinished it.
What about the weather seals? You know,
All the weather stripping is new.
Did you get that all in one kit? Or
I got it in the kit. Yes, there are a couple of companies that reproduce these parts, pieces, and just gotta kind of search them out on the web, you know, and they'll hook you up. I mean, you know, all the everything. I mean, new headliner, everything.
What about the seats? You get those reupholstered?
Actually did.
Nice.
All the interior's new, carpets, seat panels, door cards, everything. So I figured, well, what I'm doing is I might as well do it right, you know.
All right, so what are we looking at here?
This is the original engine, 2.4 liters, obviously the 240Z. It has been rebuilt to spec. Head's been rebuilt, everything that you would expect, you know. Valve guides, new valves actually. Head was surfaced to make sure it was true. The block was bored 10 over. It had 92,000 miles on it when I bought it, and so I decided, well, I'll just make sure it's good before I, you know, start driving the car on a regular basis. Radiator's original. We had it record so that it would be nice and cool. Put in some relays in here to run the lights, so now whenever you turn your lights on, they don't go through the standard wiring on the car, which is still original.
Yep.
It has a relay that takes power directly from the battery to the headlights so they don't go dim.
Nice, yeah, because that's got to keep these HIDs fed. They pull a lot more wattage.
Yep. The current on those can be really heavy. So had the brake booster rebuilt in California.
Nice.
It was not the best, so I said, well, again, you know, why go halfway? And everything is in pretty good shape. Brand new Magna Core wires for the 6-cylinder. It is a 6-cylinder. Most people would know that, I guess. And on this side, we have, as you can see, the AC compressor from Vintage Air. And the compressor, excuse me, the condensers managed to fit it underneath the dash, so it's not real visible.
So what do these come with from the factory power-wise?
150 horse, that's what they claimed.
So you're making about that right now, I'm guessing?
I'm supposed it makes that or a little better. I don't know for sure, but you know, there's no way of knowing if you don't put it on a dyno. But
exactly.
But being stock, but doing a good rebuild with modern bearings and gaskets and seals and everything, I would assume that it would still be, you know,
150,
155. That was pretty much stock, but in the day for a light car, this car weighs about 2,300 pounds.
It's crazy
you know,
light.
It was a good amount of horsepower, and with a good transmission, you know, it would hustle down the street pretty good and did quite well on the track.
I'm sure it still does.
Yeah.
So what type of carbs are these?
These are SUs. Now then I'll ask you, what does SU stand for?
I don't know.
Skinner's Union, believe it or not. These were, the original carbs were designed by a company in England, and they were Skinner's.
See, I know Weber, I know Holley, I know Edelbrock, I don't know Skinner's.
Skinner's Union, that's what SU stands for. But they're very, very efficient, good carburetors. A lot of people go to Weber's when they go racing, but for good street use, these are fine. They work wonderful.
Yeah. So are these the original lights, or have they also been switched to LEDs or HIDs?
These are the original lights behind the wiring and everything, but the actual lens itself are all new. They're reproduction. This was all faded out and nasty. Really, you know, you really couldn't save it. So I just decided to go ahead and get some remanufactured ones. Actually got a pretty good deal on them because they had a slight blim on them and not 100%.
Can't even notice them.
And you would in 100 years you probably couldn't find it. I almost couldn't find it myself, and I knew where to look. But the running lights are all original and just bulbs. Nothing was changed to LED or any other type of bulb. It's just decided that I would keep them stock. The bumper is also like the front. It is a reproduction, no overriders. Again, I like that. Look better than the overrider sticking up.
I think everyone does too.
Yeah.
Looks way cleaner.
And original, brand new exhaust all the way. I have a header. I didn't mention that, but I do have a header on here.
Yeah, I noticed that. They look like long tubes.
Long tube header. comes out into one exhaust pipe through a muffler and into a little bit of a silencer right underneath there into the chrome tip.
Yep.
The rear end has all been redone.
As has the rest of the car. So.
Yep. Yeah, I did not disassemble it from the standpoint of breaking it down, but I did clean it up, make sure everything was okay before I reassembled it and painted it and put it all back in. So.
Okay. So you said you built a custom speaker box in the rear. Can we see that?
Yes, sure.
Oh, yeah, so you got more headliner material?
Yes, headliner
That's
material
nice.
in case I need it for something. This is the box. You can see 2 6x9s. Now, everybody says, well, how did you fashion it, Bill? I said, well, actually, I put it on a spring. So, whenever I need to take it out, I can disconnect this spring right here, and it comes out.
That's nice.
That way, you don't have any screws sticking out or showing or anything. So, you know, I decided to try that.
It's actually genius.
Seems to work okay. Seems to work
It
okay.
looks almost OEM. Like if you'd never seen one and you looked at this, you would think.
That was the look I was after. I was trying to make it look so that it could have come with the car, or maybe it would have been an accessory or something at the time. So
It's period correct.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
how long ago did you start this restoration on this car?
all right, this car was actually finished in, I believe I have it on my webpage, in 2019.
I think I have the picture on my phone. Yeah, like the week after you finished it, you told me to come on over and check it out.
I actually bought the car down in Florida
You say you drove it all the way back?
and actually drove it home.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a little scary drive. It was definitely, I would say, a little apprehensive, but it made it. And I thought, well, cool. Now I've got it home. Now I can work on it.
You send photos to the old owner?
I have not, not yet. And but I do keep. His name is Jay, by the way. And Jay, if you happen to see this video, he calls it the Reluctant Dragon. That was he and his wife's name for the car when I bought it from him.
Why? 'Cause it just wouldn't die?
No, I don't know. That was he and his wife's choice for a name. I said, well, okay. I have not named this one yet, but he calls it the Reluctant Dragon. So every now and then I'll send him pictures, and Jay sends me pictures. He's a BMW, Porsche sort of a guy. He's really nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, really nice guy. Anyway, drove it home, started disassembling it. I believe it took me 2.5 years total to do it all. I did all the body work I could do with my limited skills, and then the rest of it was done by the person who painted the car. I give a shout out. His name is Cree, and he's a local guy that I use and have recommended him to friends. And let's see, total cost of the car, I'm thinking that I've got about 18 or 20 in it. I don't know exactly, but I remember what I paid for the car.
That's really not bad considering like the quality of this car and the fact that you could pretty much drive this every day if you wanted to.
Well, here's the thing, as you all know, labor is the thing that drives a restoration. So
Exactly.
the fact that I could do all the mechanical, except rebuilding the engine, and a lot of the body work and do the installation of all the interior and all that myself, I saved a lot of money. So I just am pleased that I got such a good car at such a reasonable price.
So she's straight frame, minimal
Yes,
rust, I'm assuming?
Right, yeah, minimal rust. A little bit rust, typically where Datsun's rust, like a lot of cars, are on the sides
Yeah,
here,
right
down
below,
low.
'cause all the salt gets thrown
Down
in there.
low on the fenders, right. There was a few little places on the floors that I patched, but all in all, not bad. Not bad at all.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing this with us today, and we'll probably show the other build when it's done.
Yeah, well, it's
Other
more than
Datsun.
welcome. You guys come back anytime.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for your time, and guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and do what you ever want to do. And when you're building your cars, make sure you stay original. Oh yeah. Thank you, Uncle Bill.
You're welcome.
Yep.